Hello, everybody. Granted, nobody's sitting here watching this yet. However, hopefully, we're not doing too bad with some latency issues here. Here, we'll unplug that and see how that helps. Hopefully, a little bit. All right. Well, while I wait on people to show up today, um, we're going to be looking at some really cool stuff, hopefully. And with this really cool stuff, maybe I could actually get into some of my fun food trivia that I normally have for everybody that you've seen the videos for, I'm sure. So let's go ahead and kind of get to things. So, tried to stream earlier, however, it had, for lack of a better way of putting it, some issues. And, well, I'm hoping that I've since fixed these issues. It looks like my microphone's working now. It wasn't at the time. So, you know, unfortunately, there's no way to that I know of to invite people back. And I guess we'll just have to kind of see what happens, I guess. Well, hello, everyone joining. Um, I am the Go2Chef, and chat is open. Trying a live thing here. I had some technical difficulties with it a little bit ago, and I think I worked out the kinks. You know, hit me up with the chat or something. Let me know that you can hear me if you're part of this for chat. If not, well, let's go ahead and just enjoy ourselves today. Okay, so. Um, One of the things that I have done here quite regularly with my channel is to go ahead and do things like fun food trivia. Hello, Brayson. Good to have you here. Excuse me, pardon me on that one. Anyways, I don't know how many of y'all are are returning viewers. Excuse me, not videos. Words. Sunday night. It's okay. We'll be all right here. Uh, Let me know where everyone here is from so far. Um, so anyway, so back to what I was saying is one of the things I've done with this channel. If you're a returning viewer, you'll have seen it. If you're a new viewer, then maybe you haven't yet. And so I say welcome. And uh, Brayson says, "How are you? How are you? How are you, Brayson? I'm actually doing well." Right, sending a chat. Hopefully you can see that. Brayson, let me know. Can you all hear me just fine? Hope so. So there's lots of interesting stuff going on with food, right? And one of the things that I was doing, as I was mentioning, was that I like to do some fun food trivia, right? Because everyone has a tendency to do recipes and talk about their grandma's cooking, or you see like those recipes when you go looking for something and it gives you their long story. Well, you just get to hear my long story here. No worries. So this is going to be a fun day today, right? And as we go throughout, if you're using chat, please feel free to ask as many questions as you want. I'll answer. Of course, if I can't answer, like earlier today, I was doing a test and somebody asked me, how do I fix Killdozer? I can't help answer questions like, how do you fix Killdozer? I'll tell you. If you're having issues with things like Killdozer, go cry in a corner because that's what I would do because I'm like, I don't know, but it's all good. All right. All right. So, right, as I said, if you guys have seen my fun food trivia before, you'll know that there's some really awesome things going on with that. Um, and I'm sure some of y'all seen holding an avocado in my hand here, right? So let me go ahead and give you um, something interesting, right? About avocados. Fun food trivia, right? Avocados, before they were known as avocados, they were known as the English translation is alligator pears or alligator testicles. And if you're sitting there thinking that that's kind of wild and crazy, what is kind of wild and crazy? Yes, alligator testicles. Okay. I mean, when you look at it, it's kind of textured, right? So, yeah, this was actually conceived by the ancient Aztecs. Believe it or not, right there, the Mayans, like all in that area, they thought they called them alligator pears. Who knew, right? So, interestingly enough, right? I do recipes also, um, and one of the things that I also like to do is I like to share kind of cool stuff going on with things that I find that are food related, as I find it now. Appreciate it. Thank you, Brayson. Well, enjoy your evening. So, uh, one of the interesting things with my videos that I like to do is I like to show some like cool gadgets sometimes, right? Now, I've been doing this for about a year now, right? 200 subscribers, so it's not a very big channel. It's pretty cool, but it's one of those that it still could end up being better in the long run, which that's the that's the whole goal here, right? Is to see if it will grow and I can hopefully entertain and give people something really really cool, you know. And so one of the things that I think is really cool is when we're talking about kitchen gadgets. One of the first videos I ever did was on on this air fryer, right? And I still use this air fryer to this day. It's actually sitting on my counter over here. It is made the air fryer Power XL. I don't know if it's still being sold on Amazon or not, right? But it was one of those that I had a link for it at the time. I think the link's since expired because this, like I said, this was like almost a year ago at this point. And being that it was almost a year ago, it's well, information tends to disappear. So Okay, just double checking this, making sure that everything's looking good. The stream's still working well. Seems like there may be a little bit of lag here. It's all right. That's why we do this. We're trying to work out some of the kinks here. Okay, so I think it'll end up working out well. Hopefully. If anyone is indeed curious on how far or how long I'm going to go every time I stream, it looks like probably 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere in there, right? Because everyone's got things to do. I like to respect people's time. So we like to kind of just, well, I like to just not waste everyone's time. Although granted, I haven't had a whole lot to say tonight, but that's okay. We just, um, like I said, first run, we're first trying some new stuff out, see how this works, right? So, not that anyone else is currently viewing at the moment, but we'll go ahead and because there may be somebody that decides to watch this after the fact. Is Let's go ahead and get into another fun food trivia, okay? Um, and now with this fun food trivia, let's talk about it's the summer, it's been hot, it's been poof, right? Hot in a lot of places. We all had to deal with this big old huge heat wave that happened. So let's talk about something nice and cool, right? Even though it's the evening, right? Don't know where you're at in the world if you're watching this, when you watch this, where you're at inside the world. However, unless you're in the southern hemisphere, and I could be mistaken, I think y'all are on your winter at the moment, turning fall, springish, and we're in our summer. If you're in the northern hemisphere, like I am, so summertime, right? Ice cream, big old treat. I love me some ice cream. My favorite happens to be raspberry dark chocolate. Um, it's not a very common flavor in a bucket. However, you can find it as a Magnum bar. So, love it. It's amazing, right? So let's talk about ice cream for a second, right? So, did you know that ice cream cones were actually invented by accident? They were actually done at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. And how this came about, this, and I'm talking about the cones, not the ice cream itself. This came about because an ice cream vendor ran out of his dishes. And of course, in a stroke of genius, he took waffles, folded them up, pressed them together, and boom, the first edible ice cream container invented. Good fun food knowledge, right? So, and you can also catch that in an earlier video of mine too. But I might as well share some of the knowledge again, anyways, just in case you don't remember. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and work on some of the technical stuff for a second, waiting on some viewers to show up. And of course, every so often, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and excuse me, work on getting you some more fun food trivia for a little bit. Because weirdly enough, if I'm not mistaken, it seems like there happens to be not exactly real time information, but probably about 30 to 45 seconds. Correction, 17 seconds of lag time from when I say something to the time when you guys hear it. So I'm not entirely too sure why that is. Um, and it doesn't seem like in my settings I'll be able to take a look and try and fix that at this moment in time. So Anyways, so just oops, wrong wrong one. Let's grab me for a second, right? I'll drag myself down here. As you can see, right, logo right there above the Go2Chef. Um, I think I contrived this, conceived it in probably about 45 seconds using Canva. Nothing fancy. Okay, I'm not I'm not an artiste by any stretch, and that's okay, right? Well, except when it comes to food. Okay, at some point I'll work on being able to draw in pictures and stuff so that way y'all can see some of the stuff I'm talking about. And yeah, I mean, as the really insane fit dude once said, it's a great way to stay in shape because I think it is a great way to stay in shape. And so let's talk another fun food fact, okay? So I think a lot of people here like pretzels. I mean, I like pretzels. I don't know about y'all. I like pretzels. If you like pretzels, cool. And if you are watching live currently and have the ability, go ahead and comment on whether you like pretzels or what you like your pretzels topped with, right? Because I'll say pretzels again. They are one of those snacks that is kind of awesome, right? You see them at Auntie Anne's or Wetzel's and all that, and they can come in with pizza topping, cheese and pepperoni. They've come in with butter. They've come in with um, cinnamon and sugar dusting. And so, pretzels, right? Here's a fun food trivia for you on the pretzels, right? That pretzels actually were not just the snack that we know them today. In fact, in 17th century Italy, pretzels were not just twisted dough. They were actually given as a treat by monks to children who ended up memorizing their prayers and Bible passages. Right. So next time you're like snacking on a pretzel, you may sit there and go, this is kind of a heavenly treat, a little divine. And if you don't believe in deity or religion like that, a little fun history for you. Anyways, so one of the things that I'm kind of looking at doing, hopefully eventually, is to maybe have something of like a Patreon store or something where I kind of give a little extra incentive to my followers and my subscribers, right? And I don't mean stupid little trinkets, like because I'm not trying to sell nobody on, no digital marketing or affiliate marketing or nothing like that. I'm not one of those guys on the internet doing that. I'm just trying to give everyone kind of something pretty cool, to go with. Anyways, so hopefully I can figure out how to do that relatively soon-ish. Because one of the things that'd be really awesome is if I had the ability to allow everyone to go ahead and help, somewhat donate to a cause. Right? Everyone's like, "Oh, cup of coffee this, cup of coffee that." Look, even sometimes $1 would be useful, right? I don't know how all that works entirely just yet. Because eventually, what I'd like to do is kind of set up, a merchandise kind of thing, um, where, you know, we want to support the cause, right? Uh, and I know people are like, what cause? What cause? No, we're not talking about anything crazy. We're not talking about Make a Wish or anything like that. Because, quite frankly, you're looking at the 200 subscribers. I'm a nobody in the world of online space, and that's okay. I'm not bothered by it. Whoops. Grab the wrong thing again. Let me recenter you. Sorry, technical stuff. Anyways, so 200 subscribers. I'm not very big. It's a small follow. It's a small following. I call it a small following. And for all 200 people so far that have subscribed to the channel, thank you very, very much, man. Y'all don't know how much I actually truly appreciate it and really am grateful for it because the thing is, um, and if I'm segueing, I'm sorry. There are so many people on YouTube. There's so many people in the digital space basically doing the same thing. And the fact that even just one person was sat there and thought so far that something I'm bringing to the table is worthwhile for them to watch meant a lot, right? A little over 20 years experience with food. A little over 20 years experience dealing with food. I became a chef. I worked in and out of the military. I worked around the world. I've met many amazing people along the way. So I figured I had something to bring to the table, and it's I can't thank 200 people enough, and hopefully someday 200,000 people. I do not have images of being as grand as say guys like Mr. Beast because he built his following, and congratulations to him on all his success too. But guys like that who have a name, who've built their following, they did good, and someday I hope to be a fraction as successful as they are. But guys like Mr. Beast or Gordon Ramsay, or all these big name dudes, Uncle Roger, these guys on YouTube here, TikTok, Facebook, man, they're doing their thing. I'm just trying to get there too myself. So it's all good though. You know what I mean? It's all good. Anywho, so let's talk something interesting about food, right? Because that's what y'all are here for. You're not here for my entire life story. Y'all are here for something interesting and foodie related. So, if y'all watch, if anyone here watches this video and y'all go way back to some of the first videos I made, god awful videos, but one thing I did a video series like three things restaurants did wrong, three types of food service businesses you could start today. Let's talk about something like let's go back a year and talk about something that restaurants tend to get wrong. Okay, and one of the biggest things that restaurants tend to get wrong, and I know when I say this, people are you can sit there and go, "Well, that doesn't make any sense," because these restaurants are doing it and they're being successful, like Chili's and Applebee's and Outback and stuff. And if you haven't figured out what I'm talking about, let me clue you in. Large menus. And when I say large menus, I'm talking about you're opening, 3, 4 pages, folds, trifolds, big envelopes, right? Not envelope, big menus, right? Hundreds of items to choose from. Appetizers, salads, sandwiches, soups, desserts, entree items, combo items, this item, side items, drinks, alcoholic beverages. It's a lot, and quite frankly, it'd be quite overwhelming. And this is why I say restaurants tend to get it wrong, right? Now, I get chain restaurants are successful, and they're following this formula, they're following this format. Good for them. But there's a lot of mom and pop places that tend to try and emulate what the big name restaurants are doing, and it doesn't work for them. Okay, a truly successful restaurant is only going to probably do roughly um, about 11 to 17 total items on the menu, right? To include appetizers, desserts, beverages, etc. Okay. And that's because the number one killer of restaurants is finances. It's the number one killer of any small business, right? But finances is huge in the restaurant industry. And I can give a whole masterclass on how somebody can properly run a restaurant and Quite frankly, if I ever run a master class like that, I wish somebody would go ahead and um, pay attention to that because I think there's some good stuff there. But 11 items or less. Okay, so they have their menus. They have so much going on, and a good menu is going to be stacked with about three, maybe four appetizer options. And when I say appetizer, I don't mean you're getting the Chili's, giant appetizer sampler trio platter that's enough to feed like four people. Charge you $15.99 for it, and it's basically a whole meal in of its own right. In fact, most restaurants get that wrong because they send you appetizers that are that big, when really appetizers are only supposed to be bite size, right? They were known originally as hors d'oeuvres, which is bite size. Um, but a couple bites, it's to whet the appetite, it's to kind of get everything going, get your stomach, ready to ingest food for the evening. And so about three to four appetizers, right? After that, this is going to sound a little weird, five to six entree items, right? And with those entree items, I'm not saying you can't have the sides like off to the side showing what sides are available, but sidewise, right? This doesn't really count as menu items, but you can. Side items, it's okay to have five to six side items, right? We're talking like maybe two, three choices of starch, two to three choices of vegetable. And then you want to go into salads, right? One to three salads, one to three sandwiches, and then about three desserts on your menu. And if you're sitting here thinking, man, you're saying three, 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 a lot, right? Psychologically speaking, when you're looking at a restaurant menu, or actually if you're looking at anything, right, and pay attention to this next time you go and somebody does some like fancy plating to your food. Three, three, and five are magic numbers to draw someone's eye to what you want them to look at. For some reason, we as people have an odd fascination with threes and fives, are odd numbers, where we have a strange, strange fascination with it. And I don't know why. That's a whole psychology thing, and that's pretty cool. So you're looking at three to five items per menu, you know, per section on the menu to have a very successful restaurant menu. Okay, so that is literally one thing that restaurants tend to get wrong is oversized menus, right? And especially the smaller the restaurant, the more they can have it because food cost is a thing, inventory is a thing, theft, waste. That all goes into running your restaurant. And it doesn't matter if it's a big old restaurant, if it's an eatery, food truck, you want to keep your food cost as low as possible. Um, you know, one of the things I always was able to do, especially when I started running my own kitchens and managing restaurants, was the magic number is to always try and hit 30% food waste. That's it, period. And I was pretty good about, ended up getting to about 27% on average. Okay. So, but enough about this long diatribe about restaurants and menus and all that. Let's get to something fun. Let's talk about more fun food facts, okay? So, a lot of people are allergic to red number 40, okay? Red dye 40. And people would be extremely interested in knowing a little something about red 40, right? Red dye 40 is known as Allura Red AC. It's a synthetic dye that comes from petroleum or coal products. It's very interesting, right? But uh, however, if you're sitting there thinking about, well, isn't red food or red dye 40, excuse me, that one that comes from Beals? Actually, no, but I could see where you get it. It actually is from um, Carmine. Carmine is one of is the dye that comes from the beetles, right? And if you're wondering what beetle that the red dye comes from, right? Um, they're called. Let me tell you without butchering it. The cochineal, Cochineal, the cochineal, and they have a tendency. Those insects have a tendency to live on cacti. But yeah, so red dye 40. Okay, so if you ever go, man, red dye 40, that's really bad for me. A lot of people can't handle red dye 40, and that's okay because that's an artificial food. Where if you get carmine, that's from the cochineal beetle. That's a little bit different. That's a more natural source. And if you're thinking, well, that's absolutely gross, well, I won't gross anyone else out right now with some of the disgusting food knowledge. I know that'll come at a later time. Although some people, well, I already know where hot dogs come from. Good for you. Glad you know. So, one of the funniest things I'll tell you about talking about food. Okay. Now, I haven't done any research into this, so I can't properly answer this question. So, this takes me back about 15 years ago. I'm at King Soopers at the deli, and I'm getting some cheese. And I'm listening to his mother tell her daughter that no, they can't get the yellow cheese, they need to get the white cheese. And I go, man, well, why do you say white cheese, not yellow cheese? And she goes, excuse me, sir, mind your own effing business. Literally effing. She was one of those types. And I'm like, well, excuse me, I just wanted to know because, you know, I've eaten white American, I've eaten yellow American cheeses, and I can't hardly tell a difference. Um, and so I asked her, I'm like, no, seriously, I really want to know. I'm actually genuinely curious. Why is yellow cheese so bad and white cheese is so good? Mind you, this is 15 years ago, so no, don't think that this is some kind of, race baiting thing. No, it's not. We're talking about cheese here. Okay. Um, she's like, well, sir, you just need to mind your own effing business because I don't know why. I'm like, well, excuse me, princess. You're the one telling your daughter this, not me. But hey, what do I know? So therein lies a mystery that I've never bothered looking into. Is white cheese apparently better than yellow cheese? If you know why you're watching this right now live, please go ahead and comment below if you can. If you can't, well, oh well. Maybe someday I'll do a video on whether or not white cheese is any better for you than yellow cheese or not. Although I will say one of the best things I've ever eaten is indeed white cheddar cheese, especially Vermont white cheddar. Delicious. Now, if you haven't had the pleasure of enjoying Vermont white cheddar cheese, um, imagine eating extra sharp yellow cheddar cheese, but more pungent and a little bit nuttier in flavor. Man, delicious. Absolutely wonderful. Okay. So, anyways, got a couple people watching the stream right now. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Hope you guys are here and enjoy some good stuff. You missed a couple things I mentioned earlier in the video, and the thing that I mentioned earlier was about one of the fun food trivia facts. Hmm. right. Well, it looks like I've gone about 35 minutes today, and with that, I shall bid y'all adieu, and see you next time when I go live.